Oh, hello, kiddos. Today, we're going to be using GML in GameMaker Studio 2 so I can show you GameMaker's exclusive variable function that other languages don't use. And it's extremely useful and essentially allows you to speed up processes of making sort of custom enemies. If you want one enemy to have more health, or you want one object to be bigger, you can do that with variables. So essentially, we have here, it's a race. And what we're going to do is we're going to set it up so that we have two contenders. As you can see, they're very excited for today's race, and they're going to try to make it to the checkered flag. And when they reach the checkered flag, the game will restart. And we're going to restart so we can do a bunch of calculations and tests of their speed. So first, we have to set their speed. So we're going to set the variable SPD. And the reason why we do that is because speed's an actual variable, and it's not actually probably what you want. And now we're going to have to make it so they follow the object. In this case, we can just, since I already have it towards where I want, we can just make it go towards a point. 100, 100 in this case, which is the x and y coordinates, and then our third function right here is which is the speed. SP is what that stands for. It's the speed at which we want it to travel. So we want it to travel at the speed that we set. So we can change this variable anytime we want, which is 5. So now that we have that, we can run the game. So here we go, and they both go. And looks like, looks like the first one, basically, because it's a little closer to the point or the checkered flag, is going to reach it there every time. That's cool and all, but that's not really fun. And let's see, if we want to make them faster, let's see, make them speed of 10, you'll see what happens. And the results are still going to stay the same. The first one's still going to get there because even though we made them faster, we made them both faster. So how is there going to be a way where we can make one faster than the other? Or we can make it so that it'll change every time we do a race. Well, this is where our wonderful GML variables come in. So in order, if you want these, they're going to be under at the bottom, they're going to be under variable definitions. So for now, we can get rid of that since we're not going to need it any longer. Typically, I believe that if you have this and you have the GML variables, the ones in the create event are going to overpower the variables. So you can't have both. I mean, you can, but they have to be the same thing. Otherwise, the created variables are always going to win. So now we're going to have SPD, and we're going to have it just equal 5. So that's going to be for both objects. Now we can go into the room. Also, before we do that, there's a bunch of types. We don't need to worry about that. Just forget those. Right now, we just want it to be real. Those are all fancy smanchy stuff that we don't actually need at this moment. So let's see. Since this guy always keeps losing, we can change his speed variable to 7.5. And I should change it to 10. So now we've changed it to 10. So, now that we have a race, even though they're both the same object and they have the same variables, we're able to use the GML variables so that the one object, as you can see, is going to be faster than the other. And every single time, now instead of the one on the left is going to be winning, it's the one on the right, since we're able to use GML variables. Well, here's the cool thing. We can change this. We can use a thing called the random range function. Also, as you can see, if you want to change the variables, the GML variables, you go under here, you just click on the object, you can do that, and you can change the variables. So now we have SPD, we can do this function called random range. Essentially means it's going to select a range in between the variables. So if we, in this case, put, say, 5 and 10, it's going to select a number in between 5 and 10, so we can have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And yeah, I believe you can also have decimals in there as well, so it's pretty precise to the tenths place. And we'll do this for the same for this guy as well. Now we have random range, and we have 5, and we have 10. Now both of them have sort of an equal chance of winning. Essentially, it's going, when it starts, going to pick a random number, and then it's going to change accordingly. So it's going to go whoop. Looks like one on the right, one on the right, one. But now look, the one on the left is going to win. One on the left is going to win. The one on the left is going to win. The one on the right is going to win. And this will change every single time. It's essentially a 50-50% chance since they both have the same range. And there's 5 numbers they can pick from. Or more than 5, but it's a inclusive integer selection of 5. So there you have it. Now we have it, so we're able to adjust the speed. You can do this to do a bunch of other stuff as well. I like using it with the random function though, so that way, if you want to have like a bunch of enemies, I mean, you can even do it from the start. You know, if you want to have it, you can just go here and you can do random range, so that way, all of them have a random range, so you can have tons of race. Actually, you know, why don't we do that? You know, we have random range. Let's see, we have 5. Let's make it 15. Let's make this interesting. And now we should, let me just make sure that they have the random range. They do. Make sure they have the random. I might have to adjust them. Yeah. So if you want to, also, yeah, if you want to reset the variables, you can just go here and you click this little minus button over here, and that'll set it back to default instead of having to, you know, change it all one by one. So let's see, let's get about 10 in here. Now they're not all going to have an equal opportunity, but you know, oh well. I'm just going to put them all in a line. Let's put you guys over here. Here, this should be good. I don't know if that's 10, but you know, close enough. So now with a ton of them racing, now we can get like a true analysis. Not everyone's got necessarily an equal chance of winning, but yeah, look, just let me look at that. They're all able to, you know, like look, those guys like in the back are slower because they probably got 5 or 6, and the other guys are really fast because they probably got 14 or 15. Now there you have it. This is a true display of what GameMaker variables can do. Now you can make it so you can go into creation code, which is fancy schmancy over here, and you can type in whatever code you want. So you can be like, oh, so we can have SPD equal like 25 for one object. But who wants to do that for every single object when you can just type in, where you can just go to the variable and you can just set it at 1,000. And then you can just have whatever you sort of want. It essentially saves you time. I've been going on for too long now. But yeah, and that happens when you set speed to 1,000. Don't do that, kids. Good day. Oh, I'm sorry. Toodles.